Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. What if the smartest thing you could do in any conversation is nothing? Not interrupt, not argue, not defend yourself, just watch. Because while most people are busy trying to prove who they are, the truly intelligent are quietly discovering who everyone else is. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People will always reveal themselves. The real question is, are you patient enough to let them? Niccolo Machiavelli once observed that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. And that insight alone explains so much about human behavior. People don't walk around showing their true selves immediately. They present a version, polished, calculated, socially acceptable, but give them enough time, enough comfort, or enough pressure, and the mask begins to slip. So why do smart people stay quiet? Because silence is not weakness, it's strategy. If you're into understanding people on a deeper level, how they think, how they act, and what they try to hide, then you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe, because this is where we break down how the world really works. Now think about this for a second. Have you ever met someone who seemed perfect at first, but over time something just felt off? At the beginning, they said all the right things. They acted the right way. Everything about them seemed convincing. But slowly, inconsistencies started to appear. Small things, subtle things. And eventually the truth became obvious. Here's the key insight. They didn't change. You just saw more. People don't reveal themselves all at once. They leak information in contradictions, in emotional reactions, in how they treat others when there's nothing to gain. And this is where most people make a critical mistake. They rush to confront. They rush to judge. They rush to react. But when you confront too early, you give someone a chance to adjust the mask. When you stay quiet, they forget they're being observed. And that's when the real information starts to surface. Imagine meeting someone charismatic, confident, charming, the kind of person who instantly impresses everyone around them. Most people stop there. They accept the image, but a smart observer keeps watching, not suspiciously, just attentively. How do they react when they don't get attention? How do they speak about people who aren't in the room? Do they take responsibility when something goes wrong? Or do they shift blame? You don't need to test people. Life will do that for you. And if you're paying attention, you'll see everything you need to see. This leads to something even more powerful. Silence creates pressure. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They feel the need to fill it, to explain, to justify, to prove something. And in doing so, they reveal far more than they intend to. Think about conversations you've had. Who seems more in control? The person constantly talking, or the one who speaks less but with intention? Exactly. The more someone talks, the more they give you. Information, patterns, emotions, insecurities. It's all there. So ask yourself, why rush to speak when you can learn everything just by listening? Why try to prove yourself when others are already proving themselves to you? But words are only part of the picture. Because people can control what they say, they can rehearse, they can perform, they can present an image they want you to believe. What's much harder to control are emotions. Emotions reveal truth in ways words never can. Watch for sudden anger. Watch for defensiveness. Watch for passive aggression or exaggerated reactions. These are cracks in the mask. A calm person doesn't explode over nothing. A secure person doesn't constantly seek validation. A genuine person doesn't need to manipulate perception. And once you start noticing these patterns, you begin to see people more clearly than ever before. This becomes especially obvious in real-life situations like the workplace. You'll often see one person constantly talking about how hard they work, how much they do, how valuable they are. And then there's another person, quiet, focused, not saying much at all. Months pass, results speak, and suddenly it's very clear who was real and who was performing. Because time reveals everything, not instantly, but inevitably. Patterns don't lie. Anyone can act differently once. Anyone can make a mistake. But consistency exposes character. Someone who lies once might be nervous. Someone who lies repeatedly is showing you who they are. Someone who disrespects one person might be having a bad day. Someone who disrespects everyone below them is revealing something much deeper. Smart people don't rush to conclusions. They observe patterns over time. And that requires something most people struggle with: patience. Because we all want quick answers. We want to know, can I trust this person? Are they real? Are they good or bad? But reality doesn't work like that. People are revealed in layers, and if you rush, you'll believe the version they want you to see. So instead of asking, who are they? Start asking, what are they consistently showing me? That shift alone changes everything. And here's where it gets even more powerful. When people think you don't notice things, they become careless. They speak more freely. They drop their guard. They stop filtering themselves. And that's when the truth comes out, not because you forced it, but because they gave it to you. Take something simple. A friend who keeps canceling plans. You could confront them immediately, ask questions, demand explanations, or you could observe. Does it happen once, twice, every time? Do they apologize sincerely or do they make excuses? Do they try to make it right or do they repeat the pattern? Eventually, you won't need answers. You'll have evidence. But all of this depends on one thing: your ability to control your reactions. Because the moment you react emotionally, you lose the advantage. Anger makes you predictable. Frustration clouds your judgment. Defensiveness shifts the focus away from observation and into conflict. And once that happens, you're no longer seeing clearly. Smart people stay neutral, not because they don't feel, but because they choose when to respond. And that choice is power. So what's more effective, exploding at the moment, or understanding the situation completely before acting? The answer is obvious, but it's not always easy, because staying calm requires discipline, it requires awareness, it requires you to resist the urge to react instantly. But once you master that, everything changes. You start seeing people differently. You stop getting caught in unnecessary drama. You stop giving access to people who haven't earned it. And that might be the most important part of all. Because understanding people isn't just about reading them. It's about protecting yourself. When you truly see someone for who they are, You stop over-investing. You stop explaining yourself to the wrong people. You stop chasing approval. You become selective. And that selectiveness creates distance, not in a negative way, but in a strategic one. You choose who gets close. You choose who gets your time, your energy, your attention. And suddenly your environment changes. This is what Machiavellian thinking was really about. Not manipulation for the sake of control, but understanding reality for what it is. And the reality is simple. People reveal themselves over time. If you're impatient, you'll miss it. If you're reactive, you'll distort it. But if you stay calm, observant, and patient, you'll see everything. So next time you find yourself in a conversation, try something different. Say less, observe more. Watch how people react to silence. Watch what they repeat. Watch what they avoid. Because the truth is already there. You just need to stop interrupting it. Smart people don't expose others. They simply give them space to expose themselves.